various leaders of the society. So Prabhuji is now preaching in abroad also, in South Africa, by chanting loudly Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Yes. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Nittai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रभु जी का आचार्य स्तोत्रोष्ट श्री हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्ति विधान स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य जगत गुरु श्री द होल वर्ल्ड एसी भक्ति विधान स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रभु जी का आचार्य स्तोत्रोष्ट श्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर महाराज प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की नामाचार्य शिला हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की श्री श्री गौरांगी बेंगलोरेश्वर भगवान की श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा सुदर्शन जी की श्री श्री गौर निताय की गिरिराज गोवर्धन की लक्ष्मी नरसिंहदेव भगवान की विंध्य देवी तुलसी महारानी की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayet nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttam shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki krishnaya vasudevaya devaki nandanaya cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 6th chapter, verse 26. It's coming on the board. Namani anantasya hatrapa patana Guhyani bhadrani kritani cha smaran Gamparyatam tushtamana gata spriha Kalam pratikshan vimado vimatsara Namani anantasya hatrapa patana गुह्यानि भद्राणि कृतानि च स्मरन् गां पर्यटंस्तुष्टमनगतस्पृहा कालं प्रतीक्षन् विमदो विमत्सरा Repeat please. Anyone else, please?
ಹರೇ ಕೃಷ್ಣ. ಒನ್ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಅನೌನ್ಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ಯಾರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಅನುವಾದ ಬೇಕು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರೋಹಿಣಿ ದುಲಾಲ್ ಪ್ರಭು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಪ್ರಭು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಕೈ ಎತ್ತಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ. ಹರೇ ಕೃಷ್ಣ. ರೋಹಿಣಿ ದುಲಾಲ್ ಪ್ರಭು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ನೀವು ಕೂತ್ಕೋಬೋದು, ಅವ್ರ ನಿಮಗೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. जिनको भी हिंदी में अनुवाद चाहिए, सुमुख और रजनाथ प्रभु इधर राइट साइड है. प्रभु कैन यू प्लीज स्टैंड अप. सुमुख और रजनाथ प्रभु हिंदी में अनुवाद करेंगे तो कक्षा इंग्लिश में होगा. तो यार कन्नड़ ಬೇಕು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರೋಹಿಣಿ ದುಲಾಲ್ ಪ್ರಭು ಹತ್ರ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡಿ. ಯಾರಿಗೆ किसको हिंदी में अनुवाद चाहिए, सुमुख और रजनाथ प्रभु इधर राइट साइड है, उनके पास बैठ जाइए. हरे कृष्ण. थैंक यू.
Mataji, would you like to repeat? Anyone else? Thank you. Word by word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Namani, the holy name, fame, etc. Anantasya, of the unlimited. Hatatrapaha, being freed from all formalities of the material world. Patan, by recitation, repeated reading, etc. Guhyani, mysterious. Bhadrani, all benedictory. Kritani, activities. Cha, and Smaran, constantly remembering. Gam, on the earth. Paryatan, traveling all through. Tushtamana, fully satisfied. Gatspriha, completely freed from all material desires. Kalam, time. Pratikshan, awaiting. Vimada, without being proud. Vimatsarha, without being envious. Translation, please repeat after me. Thus I began chanting the holy name and fame of the Lord by repeated recitation, ignoring all the formalities of the material world. Such chanting and remembering of the transcendental pastimes of the Lord are all benedictory. So doing, I traveled all over the earth, fully satisfied and free from pride and envy. Purport. The life of a sincere devotee of the Lord is thus explained in a nutshell by Narad Muni by his personal example. Such a devotee, after his initiation by the Lord or his bona fide representative, takes very seriously the chanting of the glories of the Lord and traveling all over the world, so that others may also hear the glories of the Lord. Such devotees have no desire for material gain. They are conducted by one single desire, to go back to Godhead. This awaits them in due course on quitting the material body. Because they have the highest aim of life, going back to Godhead, they are never envious of anyone, nor are they proud of being eligible to go back to Godhead. Their only business is to chant and remember the holy name, fame, pastimes of the Lord, and according to personal capacity, to distribute the message for others' welfare without motive of material gain. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishnam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadavaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitanscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Gatatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Hare Krishna. So I am extremely happy and delighted to be here amongst all of you. And thanks to all of you for coming over here. And we should be extremely grateful to Srila Prabhupada. By his mercy, we have this opportunity of hearing and chanting Srimad Bhagavatam. When Srila Prabhupada was about to go to West, one of his godbrother asked him, Swamiji, I heard you are going to West. Prabhupada replied, no, I am not going to West. Srimad Bhagavatam is going to West. So Prabhupada had so much of conviction. Prabhupada waited till he could translate at least the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. He didn't go out. Okay. He knew the basis of my preaching movement will be Srimad Bhagavatam. And when the Prabhupada landed at Boston, he went out and he saw the condition of the Americans, totally immersed in mode of passion and ignorance. Prabhupada got surprised. How will these people receive the message of Srimad Bhagavatam? But he had firm faith and conviction. Shranodam swakatha Krishna, punya shravana kirtana, hidyantaste bhadrani, vidinoti suhisatam, nashta prayeshu bhadreshu, nityam bhagavasya. So Prabhupada started reciting those verses. And we know how Prabhupada, when all this revolution started, all those hippies became happies. So this is the beauty of Srimad Bhagavatam. And this particular chapter is very, very relevant for all of us. This is a conversation between Narad Muni and Vyasdev. In the last two chapters, we have been hearing how Narad Muni and Vyasdev are, in the last chapter, Narad Muni gave instructions to Vyasdev. Vyasdev, after, compiling all the Vedic literatures, 18 Puranas, 108 Upanishads, 4 Vedas, Mahabharata, he was not feeling satisfied. And he could identify his own problem. Something is wrong. Maybe I have not glorified pure devotional service profusely. He was doubting he was not satisfied. And then Narad Muni, his spiritual master, appears. And he said, you are not satisfied. Yes, I am not satisfied. And then he said, what is the reason? The reason is you have not glorified the glories of pure devotional service sufficiently and profusely. You have glorified Krishna, but not so much. So then Narad Muni started, Narad Muni chastised him. He says, all your work is jugupsitam. Very, very bad. And you see, this is all is being described by whom to whom? Sud Goswami. And Namesharanya is just giving these details to all the sages who have assembled at Namesharanya. Sud Goswami had heard from whom? Sukdev Goswami. And the Sukdev Goswami was narrating to Parikshit Maharaj. In that assembly, Vyasdev was also there. Narad Muni was also there. Yeah? And Sukdev Goswami is describing to Parikshit Maharaj about the faults of his spiritual master. That my spiritual master got such a feedback from his own spiritual master. Just imagine. And both are sitting there. Vyasdev did not send him a note. Hey, Sukdev, what are you doing? In front of everyone you are saying like this. Don't... At least don't say like this. So what do we learn from this? Sometimes the great personalities reveal their own weaknesses for teaching all of us. And they don't mind. Like Srila Prabhupada once was telling his disciples, when I got married, I didn't like my wife. I was not satisfied with my wife. So I wanted to marry second time. I was about to go out and looking for a second wife. My father stopped me. What are you doing? You are so fortunate you don't like your wife. You won't get entangled, okay? Whatever is given by God, be satisfied. So I followed my father's order. Had I married at that time, I wouldn't have been there in America, and you all of must have been there. Because I followed my father's advice, I could take sannyas, and because of that, ISKCON has come up. Because of us, that all of us are there. So sometimes the great personalities reveal their own weaknesses for guiding us, for giving us some lessons. Okay? And they don't mind. Now, Sukdev Goswami is a disciple of Vyasdev. And in a way, he is saying, my Guru spiritual master compiled all those literatures, and his spiritual master, chastised him. This is Jugupsitam. This is the feedback he got. They never mind. They said, okay, it's good. Because by this, the glories of Krishna is being established. The glories of Srimad Bhagavatam are being established. Okay? This is how the devotees are selfless. Okay? Then after describing the glories of pure devotional service, Narad Muni gave a practical example. So Narad Muni is a perfect preacher. Whenever we establish some principles in devotional service, we should, cite some examples some testimonials, okay, so that we can understand those principles nicely. So Narad Muni is giving his own testimonial. The testimonials are very, very powerful. Theory is one part, bookish knowledge is one part. Testimonial, no, I tried. No? I practice pure devotional service. Now I'll tell you my own story. What has happened with me? You know, the form you are seeing in me, I have a spiritual body, I'm a transcendental spaceman. No, in my last birth, I was not like that. I was son of a maid servant. I was a Shudra, born Shudra. But by great fortune, the Bhakti Vedanta Swamis, and during Chaturmas, they came to our residence, they stayed there. My mother was a maid servant, very poor woman. She served them nicely. I also served them. And once, only once, by their permission, I had their Mahaprasad. After having the Mahaprasad, all my sins were eradicated. Then I started hearing them. As long as I was hearing them and serving them, my taste for hearing kept on increasing. I started, and earlier I used to identify myself with a gross and subtle body. Then I came to know my real identity. Then I started developing love for devotional service. Everything he narrated, you know, to establish the glories of association of devotees, glories of serving the devotees, the glories of pure devotional service. His own testimonial. You know. And after that, they left. Before they left, they again gave me some transcendental, confidential knowledge, and then they left. This is where the 5th chapter ends. In the 6th chapter, Vyasdev starts inquiring. What did you do after you got initiated by them, after they left? Then what happened? You know? How did you receive this body? You were the son of a maid servant. Now you are transcendental spaceman. You are known as a son of Brahmaji. How this change happened? How you received your spiritual body? It's very interesting. So then he said, and how could you remember your past life? You said in your last kalpa, in the last day of Brahmaji, I was son of a maid servant. How is it possible that you remember everything of what happened in the last day of Brahma? You know, it's very astonishing. So please describe. Then Narad Muni starts explaining. After those Bhakti Vedantas left, you know, my mother was very much attached with me. She was a poor woman. I was her only son. Jai Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Sudarshan Ji ki Jai. Shishiko Nitaya ki Jai. I was her only son, so she was tying me in the bond of affection. I was also totally dependent on her. But one evening, while she was going out to milk the cow, she was bitten by a snake, and she left her body there. And the most amazing thing was, Narad Muni, all alone, poor boy, 5-year-old boy of a maid servant, all alone, and her mother left, you know, and he said, by the mercy of my gurus, my spiritual master, I didn't feel anything, you know. I developed renunciation. I immediately left my home and went towards the north, towards the Himalayas. I started going there. I passed through all the villages, forests, cities and everything, but I was not distracted. And then under a banyan tree, I sat down and started meditating on the instructions of our spiritual master. And within a few moments, within my heart, the Lord appeared. And all my senses got enlivened. I had the wonderful experience of seeing the Lord face to face. And then immediately he disappeared. So I started hankering for the Lord. Where are you, Lord? I again started practicing meditation to have the darshan of the Lord. Harder I tried, I couldn't get that darshan of the Lord. Then I heard the deep voice of the Lord. He said, Narad Muni, in this life, you're not going to see me again. Because you still have to purify yourself. Okay? But in the next life, you will definitely see me. And then the voice disappeared. After hearing that voice, I started again meditating, you know. And this is the verse he is saying, you know. After hearing the voice of the Lord, Lord guaranteed me that at the end of this life, you will give up this body, you will receive a spiritual body, then you will become my associate. Okay? After getting this confirmation from the Lord, now he is saying, what he is saying? Namani anantasya hatrapa pathan goyani badrani kritani chasmaran gam paryatan stusht mana gatas priya kalam patikshan vimado vimatsara. Namani anantasya hatrapa. After receiving these instructions from the Lord, hatrapa, I give up all shame. I became shameless. I gave up all the formalities of the material world and started chanting the glories of the unlimited Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. I was not concerned about the public opinion, what the people will think, what has happened to this boy, the maid servant. Gat Hatrapa, giving up all shame, I just traveling all over the world, Gam Paretams, He says, Gam Paretan Tushtamana, I was fully satisfied. I didn't have any material desire. I was just waiting. Kalam Pratikshan Vimado Vimatsarha. I was just waiting for the time when I will go back to Godhead, join my Lord, and become His associate. And when I was traveling, my mind was completely satisfied. Vimada, I was prideless, and Vimatsara, I didn't have any envy. Okay? And Prabhupada is very nicely explaining in the purport, the life of a sincere devotee of the Lord is thus explained in a nutshell. Okay? Normally, in many purports, Prabhupada is saying one should be sincere in his Krishna consciousness. Now, what it means to be a sincere devotee is being exhibited by Narad Muni. Okay? So, what are the qualities Narad Muni is showing in this verse? Okay. Something remembers? What are the qualities someone remembers? Non-envious. What was the Sanskrit word? Vimatsara, number one. Others quality? Vimada, without pride. Very good. Two qualities. Other? Hatrapa, no fear of public opinion. 3. Number 4, Tushtamana, fully satisfied. Number 1, one more, Gat Spriha, no material desires. So these 5 qualities. So that means Narad Muni is giving his testimonial. Narad Muni is by his personal example showing devotional service. If you perform devotional service properly, surely and certainly you will get success. It's a wonderful example. Such examples give us hope. Srimad Bhagavatam is meant to give us hope. ISKCON, we have so many organizations, they have their own product. Someone is marketing water, someone is marketing air, someone is marketing petrol, everything, What is the product of ISKCON? One month. Holy name, pure devotional service, happiness. Bhagavatam. Yeah. Hope, yes. We are giving hope. If we go out, people are totally helpless, clueless, hopeless. What they are doing, for whom they are doing, what is the purpose of life. His Holiness Jayapataka Goswami Maharaj, he was once telling, in the earlier days when he was in Montreal, serving in Montreal, the devotees used to work outside to bring money for maintaining the temple. And Jayapataka Goswami Maharaj used to work in a restaurant. And he was cleaning the table. And he was very happy. So one very rich man used to come to that restaurant and used to see, this man is just cleaning the table and he's very happy. So once he asked him, why are you so happy? I have everything. I have big cars, money, everything, but I am not so happy. But you are so happy. Why? So Maharaj replied, I know what I am doing and for whom I am doing. It's very important. What I am doing and for whom I am doing. Most of people are clueless for what they are doing, for whom they are doing, what is the purpose of life. Okay? So we are giving hope. And what is the source of our hope? The holy name, Srimad Bhagavatam, is the source of our hope. So when we hear such cases, when we discuss such cases, if we perform devotional service, if we can become a sincere devotee like Narad Muni, we are also sure to go back to Godhead. Narad Muni is just waiting, kalam pratikshan, just waiting for the time when I will give up this body, I am sure to go back to Godhead. Just waiting for the time. Such people will not be scared of death. Any time the death can come, because then I will be joining the Lord in his pastimes. Okay? So, Namani Anantasya Hatrapa. So how this change came in Narad Muni? What was the first thing? What is the first step in developing such qualities? Yes, very good. Coming in contact with pure devotee is the first step. Okay, so we all are very fortunate to be in contact with Srila, under the shelter of Srila Prabhupada. Okay, what other thing Narad Minu did rightly, which we can learn from him? Serving such devotees. Very nice. Okay, we should also serve. Then other thing, taking remnants. Okay, by their permission he took, but without permission also we can take. No, stealing Mahaprasad is allowed. Okay, hearing. Not only hearing, hearing with faith. So, faith. He had deep faith in the words of those Bhakti Vedas. And after hearing them, he had a deep sense of gratitude. Okay. We also come in contact with good devotees. We also serve them. We also hear from them. Sometimes we don't have such staunch faith, and sometimes we do not have the proper attitude of gratitude. Okay. Many of us may be initiated also. And at the time of initiation, we get a seed of devotional service, Bhakti Lata Bij. Now, a guru, a spiritual master may have many disciples. And many disciples may have taken initiation from one guru only. But we see all of them progress differently. They are at different levels. Why? Srila Prabhupada says it all depends on our attitude. Okay. How we receive these instructions. The first step, how we receive these instructions. How much value we give to these instructions which we receive from pure devotees. How deeply we ingrain these instructions in our heart. The more deeply we ingrain these instructions in our heart, they stay with us. Okay? If we are taking these instructions on a superficial level, what will happen? The birds of material desires can come and they can take away this seed because they are on very superficial level. If these instructions are deeply embedded in our heart, they will remain safe. Guru Mukh Padma Vakya Chitate Kariya Ekya Arana Kariya Mane Asha. So if we take instructions from our Guru as our life and soul, as very deep in our heart, they stay with us. Few moments we spend with great devotees, those moments remain our permanent asset. His Holiness Devamrit Swami Maharaj is sharing his memories. Devamrit Swami Maharaj passed out from the Yale University. Yale University is very reputed university in America. Okay, and he joined full time. And then he was given the service in BBT in Boston. Okay, and he was serving there. Then Prabhupada came, and Prabhupada was seeing all the machines. And devotees told Prabhupada, he is this Devamrit. He's a very learned boy, very educated boy. So Prabhupada looked at him from top to bottom. And then Prabhupada went away. He said, this is the only interaction I had with Prabhupada. That's it. Sometimes we see our spiritual master have so many disciples, we don't have any personal interaction, I'm not developing heart-to-heart relationship with our Guru, we don't have time, he doesn't have time, maybe he doesn't know my name also, and we have so many doubts. Prabhupada just looked at him, top to bottom, that's all. And in that moment, the Prabhupada saying, that stayed in his heart. Prabhupada acknowledged him, very good. And now he's doing so wonderful services for the mission of Srila Prabhupada. Okay? It is the quality of the time we spend with the devotees. It's not how much time. Prabhupada gives a bug is sitting on the head of a spiritual master. It's not taking the association. He's sucking his blood. It is the quality of time we spend with the devotees and how seriously we take their instructions, their association. So Narad Muni was a very simple boy. He took the instructions of Bhaktivedanta very seriously, deeply to his heart, and he was very grateful for that. Okay, so whatever we have received so much in our Krishna consciousness. Sometimes we take everything for granted. Okay, we should be extremely grateful. We have so many wonderful deities, darshan, prasadam, wonderful gifts of literature, Srila Prabhupada's purports, devotees, dham yatras. Everything is so wonderful. So we should be grateful. Okay, so when a disciple is grateful, then with this attitude, he'll progress very fast. Okay. Then, he was Vimatsara, Vimada, Hatrapa, Tushtamana, Guts Priya, these 5 qualities. The basic reason why he could develop all these 5 qualities, because his purpose of life was very clear, crystal clear. The Prabhupada is saying he was non-envious because his only purpose was to go back to Godhead. He had no material desires because his only purpose was to go back to Godhead. So when we are clear in our purpose, we will be free from pride, we will be free from envy, our mind will be satisfied. It is very easy. Srila Prabhupada says, all problems in our life are because of polluted aim of life. We want Krishna also, and we want Maya also. Every day morning we say, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, but internally we are saying, Krishna, don't take it seriously. Ha dhanam, ha janam, ha sundarim. I need both. You know my level. Ha dhanam, and bhakti hai to bhakti is also required, but some dhanam, some janam, some sundarim, some followers are required, otherwise I won't be able to survive. So we have such mixed desires. And due to mixture of these desires, we have polluted aim of life. So that's why we develop pride also, we develop envy also, we develop competitive spirit also, and mind is also not satisfied. Okay? So the human form of life it's very rare. After spending so many lives in lower species, we have received this wonderful gift of human form. Okay? So now, after coming in association of devotees, our purpose of life should be absolutely clear. Now, how to have a clear purpose of life? Theoretically, we know. Right from the day one, we know. What is the purpose of life? Krishna Prem. How many of you want Krishna Prem? Yes, we want. Cut off. That's finished. It's not going to our heart. So why? Because the aim of life is polluted. So how to be very much clear about the purpose of life? What do we learn from Narad Muni? Association of devotees, yeah. How to develop that? Chanting, yeah. It is said, in the verse it says, can you go to the verse? No? At the verse it says, Namani Anantasya Pathan. Pathan means reciting it repeatedly. Okay? More we hear and chant repeatedly, again and again, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Our aim of life will get more and more clear. In Srimad Bhagavatam 2:237, it's a very nice verse. Pibanti Bhagavad Atmanam Satam Kathamritam Shravan Puteshu Samritam Punanti te vishay vidushutashayam Vajanti te charan sarorantakam Pibanti te bhagavatam atmana satam. Those who drink, pibanti, what? Kathamritam, the nectar of your katha. How they drink? Through their ears. And how they hear? Kathamritam shravan puteshu samritam. Shravan puteshu means through the ear holes. And samritam means with full, not with dropping. Drop, tup, no. Hands full of kathamritam. No. Hearing and hearing. Pibanti bhagavad atmana satam. So when we hear, Prabhupada says, sufficiently and properly. Keep on hearing. Then what will happen? Punanti te vidushita vishaya vishuddhitashayam. The aim of life which has been polluted by Vishaya, the sense objects, they get purified. Okay? And what happens? Brajanti te charan sarorantakam. Then I start my march, start my journey towards the lotus feet of the Lord. So what is the key? Hearing again and again, and chanting again and again. More we hear and chant, more our heart is getting purified, more our purpose of life is getting clear. Okay? So Srila Prabhupada used to say, in the material world, there is a satiation. If we repeatedly say one thing again and again, we get bored. But daily we chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. More we chant, more we feel enthused, more we feel new. In the beginning days of our Krishna conscious movement, devotees were filing case, devotees' parents were filing case against ISKCON of brainwashing. Okay, they are brainwashing our children, making them monks and all those things. There were so many court cases were there. So one of the lawyer who was contesting this case, he thought he had a very solid point. So what was the solid point? He said, see this boy, he has gone crazy. Why he has gone crazy? My Lord, every day, every morning, he keeps on chanting the same line again and again, again and again and again and again. What is that line? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Isn't he crazy? For 2 hours continuously he is repeating the same thing. And next day again. He has gone crazy. But he didn't know the glories of the holy name. So once we are very much clear about the purpose of our life, Hatrapa, we shouldn't be bothered. Now, what are the formalities of this material world? That doesn't mean that we should not be sensitive in our public dealings. Okay, we should be very, very sensitive of the public opinion also. At the same time, we should not be bottled down by what people will think. In Hindi it is said, "Sabse bada rog kya kahenge log." Sabse bada rog kya kahenge log. So people are just in the business of showing off. They don't have money, still they will buy a new car on loan. And then, whole family is there just filling up the EMIs. So, sabse bada rog kya kahenge log, I have to show my status, I have to show I am something very special. But Hatrapa, once our purpose of life is clear, Hatrapa, nothing. At the same time, we should be very sensitive. Like there are so many incidences. His Holiness Japta Goswami Maharaj, remembering one incident. In Hyderabad, we had a farm, land for the farm. We still have. In early days, there was some dispute, okay, and there were some land mafias were there, and they had a lot of tussle with the devotees. Earlier, police were supporting our devotees, but somehow some of our devotees didn't behave properly with the police. The police got annoyed and they started supporting mafias. And when the local police started supporting mafias, the life became very tough for our devotees in the farm. So the news reached His Holiness Japta Goswami Maharaj. He came there, listened everything. Then he said, I want to meet the local police chief. Okay. So devotees took him on the jeep. And the whole way, Maharaj was very, very grave. And devotees were telling this happened, that way police supporting them, they have taken bribe and all those things. They are harassing our devotees, putting them in jail. So Maharaj was very, very grave, listening everything. So when the jeep stopped in front of the police station, Maharaj got down. In those days, he was so heavy, and just walking. And very fast he was walking. Everyone was following him. What is going to happen? And Maharaj just going, and the police chief, he was sitting on his chair. You know what Maharaj did? Immediately Maharaj fell flat on the ground, downwards, to that police chief. And he was surprised, such a big sannyasi, falling flat at my feet. He said, Swamiji, what are you doing? And Maharaj is just saying, please forgive us, We did commit a lot of mistake. And he lifted Maharaj, you are there, you are such a big sannyasi, you are falling at my feet. So he said, yes, your devotees didn't behave properly with us. But now seeing your humanity, I assure you, henceforward there will be no problems for you. This is called Hatrapa. Maharaj was not bothered what is his status, his GBC, such a big guru, such a big sannyasi. But for the sake of mission, Hatrapa means anything and everything for Krishna. Not for personal thing. Anything and everything. In the material world, we see in such big cities, you go to Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, young boys and young girls, they don't have any shame. Openly smoking, drinking, in the name of freedom of expression, they can do anything. This they are doing for themselves. But the devotees, once their purpose of life is clear, Hatrapa, I'm not bothered about my own reputation. What is good for the mission, I'm ready to go to any extent. So Maharaj fell at the feet of that policeman, drunkard, meat eater. But it was good for the mission and his heart melted. And he said, now your devotees won't have any problem. On the other side, we should be very sensitive. Rup Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, Haridas Thakur, they were in Jagannath Puri. Haridas Thakur is titled Ramacharya. Still, they never, approached Lord Chaitanya. Please, please take us inside the Jagannath temple, We are your devotees, your Supreme Lord yourself. We had never had darshan of Lord Jagannath. Please take us inside. No, they never approached him. They were satisfied. They used to feel we are too fallen because they respected the social custom. The social customs are there. The non-Hindus are not allowed in Jagannath Puri temple. Okay, we won't go. Although Rup and Sanatan were Saraswat Brahmanas, high-class Brahmanas, but they used to consider themselves as Yavanas only. This is the other side. It's not Hatrapa. We should not misuse it. No? Once His Holiness Satsvarup Maharaj was describing, he was the secretary of Srila Prabhupada, and he was traveling with him in a plane, and somehow they got different seats. Prabhupada got seat in the front and he got seat in the back. So when the plane landed at the destination, Prabhupada got up from his seat and going out. Now being a secretary, Satsvarup Maharaj's responsibility was to immediately go to near Srila Prabhupada and took up his luggage and everything. But there was so much rush. So Satsvarup Maharaj was trying to just find his way and pushing the people. So one old lady was standing in front of him, and Satsvarup Maharaj in haste tried to push her away. She looked back at Satsvarup Maharaj from top to bottom. Are you a monk? Just like this. Are you a monk? And Satsvarup Maharaj said, these words are still echoing in my ears. Are you a monk? Don't you have etiquette? Are you a monk? Just say like that. And he said, okay, I restrained myself. So when we are going out, we are representing ISKCON, we are representing Srila Prabhupada. So we should be respectful to the public sentiments, but at the same time, we should not get bogged down by their opinions. Okay? Sometimes we are very shameful, we feel very shameful wearing dhoti, going out, putting on tilak and everything. If possible, we should go out. This is how we'll spread the Vedic culture. Okay? So when whatever is good for the mission, we should be ready to do that. Okay? So this was Hatrapa. Okay? Then Namani Anantasya Pathan, repeatingly, reciting it, and again and again. More we do that, more we are purified. Okay? This is the glory of holy sound, transcendental sound. It's ever fresh, ever new. Okay? So our mind, makes everything mundane. Mind makes everything mundane, but everything is spiritual, and we should take it in a spiritual point of view. Right? So, Namani Antasya Hatrapa Pathan, Ghoyani Bhadrani Kritani Chasmaran, Gam Paryatan, while traveling. Okay? So, Narad Muni was not stuck at one place. He was traveling, spreading the glories of the Lord, and at the same time, Goyani Bhadrani Kritani Chasmaran, he was remembering. He was remembering the confidential pastimes of the Lord. Same is with Srila Prabhupada. Once a disciple told Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, please give me shelter under your lotus feet. Prabhupada said it's not possible. He got disappointed. Why, Prabhupada? Prabhupada said, I always keep on traveling. Always traveling. So Prabhupada is always traveling. And Prabhupada is always remembering also. When Prabhupada is in Jaldut, Prabhupada is remembering Radha Damodar. Prabhupada is alone, the first Janmashtami in New York, 1966. Prabhupada is remembering how I used to celebrate Janmashtami in Vrindavan. In Jaldut, Prabhupada is all alone, relishing Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay? So, one has to purify himself also, and one has to spread the glories also. When Mahaprabhu was initiated by Ishwar Puripad, so after receiving the mantra from Ishwar Puripad, Mahaprabhu came back. Mahaprabhu said, what kind of mantra you have given me? This has made me crazy. I'm continuously chanting and crying. I'm not able to take hold of myself. Ishwar Puripad was very happy. He said, my dear boy, the mantra is working upon you. This is the nature of the mantra. Similarly, after initiation, we also go back to our spiritual master. Guru Maharaj, what kind of mantra you have given us? The moment I start chanting, I feel sleepy. And Maharaj says, this is the how mantra will act on you. Keep on chanting. But Ishwar Puripad said, you have become mad. To become mad in ecstasy, it is the nature of this mantra. This is how the mantra will work. But you don't have to become mad yourself. You have to make the whole world mad. What is that? He says, Nacho gao bhakt sange karo sankirtan. Krishna nama upadeshi tar sarvajan. So Ishwar Puripad instructed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not only you have to just perfect yourself, You have to go out chanting and dancing and deliver the whole world by spreading the holy names. Okay? So Prabhupada says this, all spiritual masters expect this from their disciples. Okay? Janam sarthak kari kar paropkar. So we should not be scared of traveling. Wherever we get scope, we go and travel. Okay? Srila Prabhupada traveled 14 times all over the globe in 12 years. You know, spreading the glories, at the same time remembering the confidential pastimes of the Lord, which are Bhadrani, which are all benedictory. Then what he did? Kalam pratikshan vimado vimatsara. And is just waiting for his time when will give up with this material body and join the Lord in his confidential pastimes. And when he is waiting, he is vimada. He is prideless. He is not thinking, this is my last life, I am going back to Godhead. All these other residents of Bangalore will keep on suffering. Let them suffer. No. He was not having this feeling that I am better than others. The moment we have this feeling, I am better than others, we become bitter in the eyes of Krishna. Okay? This is the offensive mentality when we start feeling I am better than others. Whatever better I have in my life, it's all because of the mercy. Okay? So one should never forget, whatever I am completely made of the mercy of my spiritual masters. So Narad Muni was fully convinced it is all by the mercy of Bhakti Vedantas that I am having all these things. Okay? And he used to feel I am just waiting for going back to Godhead, and he was not having any pride because he was feeling I am most fallen. This is not artificial. No? Sometimes our message we read, your most fallen servant. We just say like this, you are insignificant servant, you are fallen servant. We may or may not mean it. But Narad Muni was really thinking deep in his heart, I am fallen. That was no pride. Okay? So how this humility, this real humility comes? So in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Sanatana Goswami explains, real humility is the fruit of love of Krishna. More we advance in Krishna consciousness, more real humility will develop. And at the same time, Sanatana Goswami says, humility is the seed of love. Okay? So more we practice humility, more fast we advance in Krishna consciousness, and more we develop love. More we develop love, more we develop real humility. So humility is the seed of Krishna love as well as the fruit of love. Okay? So Narad Muni was prideless and at the same time vimatsara, free from envy. So you see, because of the false ego, when we see someone better than us, we develop envy. And when sometimes we feel I am better than others, we develop pride. Okay? But Narad Muni knew whatever is there, everything is there by the mercy of Guru and Krishna. So there was no envy, no pride. Okay? So Narad Muni had a perfect vision. He saw everything with a spiritual vision. Okay? Normally, we see material things with material vision. So if someone has some more material things than us, will develop envy. But if we see material things with spiritual vision, no envy, no pride. And sometimes we think spiritual things also with material vision. Sometimes we see some devotees advancing more than us, we develop envy. How can he develop more than me? How he is getting more recognition than me? Because he has more mercy. But we see it with a material vision, so we develop envy. So envy or pride will come due to our defective vision. But if we are continuously chanting and hearing in the association of devotees, we develop the perfect vision, and that will help us to be Vimatsara and Vimada. So it's a very beautiful verse. Many things can be said on this. Very, very wonderful verse. It's a kind of a testimonial from Narad Muni, how he prepared himself, how he qualified himself from a son of a maid servant to this transcendental personality, how he got his spiritual body, how deeply grateful he was to his spiritual master, how seriously he took their instructions and applied those instructions, and how continuously he recited the message of the Lord and distributed all over the world, and with Tushtmana. Why he was Tushtmana, fully satisfied? Because his goal of life was clear. Srila Prabhupada says, the disturbance of the mind is due to the lack of ultimate goal for the mind. Our mind has short goals, so it's always remaining anxiety. If we have the goal for Krishna, that is the ultimate goal, the mind will be satisfied. Okay? So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any questions, comments, or corrections? Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. Yeah, very good question. Prabhuji is asking. Many times it is also said one should not even desire to go back to Godhead. One should desire just service, wherever it may be. It may be the material world or the spiritual world. You are right. So yes, that is the superior desire, superior position than this. Okay, but still the devotees will aspire for going back to Godhead, because when we are performing devotional service in this material world we have limitations of body. Body has certain limitations, and we want to serve more and more unlimitedly. So in the spiritual world there are no limitations. So a sincere devotee will desire to go back to Godhead so that he can serve the Lord unlimitedly, without any limits. That. Okay. Yeah. Who else? What is the constitutional position of the body? Constitutional position of the body and all the material thing is to be used in the service of Guru and Krishna. That is the constitutional position. Okay. Constitutional position of all the body and the things related to the body is to be used in the service of Krishna. The body is meant to be used in the service of Guru and Krishna. Yeah. What else? No questions?
Hare Krishna. So sometimes we as grihasthas, we will be like thinking about earning money and taking care of the family. So how can we have that tivra bhakti, even as sadhakas, right? Most of the time when we are like even chanting or doing any of this thing, all these material thoughts and like are coming about like finance and these things and all. So okay.
Who is asking a very practical question? Being in a grastha ashram, we have so many other responsibilities. When we are chanting, so we're remembering all those things. So how we can be single-minded, focused, purpose of our life. Yeah? You see, ashram means a place where we take shelter of Guru. Ashram means leading a regulated life as per the rules and regulations given by the spiritual master. That is ashram life. Ashram life doesn't mean Vishram. Ashram life means to satisfy the spiritual master. So it's not grastha ashram. Even if someone is in renounced ashram, brahmacharya or sannyasa ashram or vanprastha ashram, if he is not following the rules and regulations of that ashram, it's not ashram. It's not only external thing. Okay. So in Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement, we see many devotees were in family life, but they were fully dedicated to the Sankirtan movement. Okay. So Prabhupada has given us very practical. Whole system is very, very practical. Okay. We can, for the maintenance, for the sake of maintaining our body and our family, we have to work, we have to earn money. Okay. We try to do that with as honest means as possible. But the main purpose of our life should be Krishna consciousness. So we should mold our material life in such a way that it should support my spiritual life. In fact, for a grastha devotee, nothing is material. Everything is spiritual, because everything is being used for the service of Guru and Krishna. Okay. So it should not remain like a theory. We should really, Prabhupada says, mold your life in such a way that we never forget Krishna. So basically, if you just get rid of this hatrapa, what people will think about me, kya kahenge log, if you get rid of this mentality, the life becomes very simple. When the life becomes simple, then simple living, high thinking is possible. High living, high thinking is not possible. We want high living and high thinking. To maintain high living, the whole energy, time and energy goes. So if we simplify our living, then high thinking is possible. Then we can practically do something.
Not aim for something more higher job or like
Yeah, simple living, whatever is sufficient for me, and then should not be bothered about public opinion and all that. That way. Okay, so Thank you. Yeah, you have a question. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. You said in the lecture that सबसे बड़ा लोग क्या कहेंगे, but when we have to apply it practically, so many conditions are there. So it is not possible to apply.
What are conditions?
So many conditioning is there. Like it is very deep rooted in us. What people will think.
Yeah.
But when we say that सबसे बड़ा लोग क्या कहेंगे, it doesn't go inside only. That's superficially.
Yeah. So we want to maintain this rog. We want to nourish this rog. You know? Life after life, this rog. He says, क्या सबसे बड़ा रोग क्या कहेंगे लोग? This statement doesn't go in. It's not tactical. So I said, okay, you want to maintain this rog, life after life. No, this is not one life rog. It's very, very chronic. The moment we come to this material world, this rog is there. It's called bhava rog. No, because always we are here to impress others. No, I want to impress. I want to be all attractive Krishna. I want to imitate. So I'm very much bothered what people are thinking about me because the purpose of life is not clear. So more we associate and serve devotees, hearing and chanting repeatedly, our purpose of life will be clear. You see, some progress we have made. That's why on a Sunday afternoon you are sitting in the temple. Hearing this, that I am a rogi. I have to get rid of this rog. We are analyzing this. This is the progress we have made. We are not bothered what my friends are thinking, why you are going to on Sunday to the temple, why not to some other movie or some other PVR. We are here. So we have made some progress. But still such subtle things are there. We have to get rid of those things. We should have faith in the process. If you follow this process very sincerely, will purify our aim of life, then everything will become very clear. Isn't it? Now we are not ashamed of wearing dhoti and going out in the road. Are you? No, see, so we are improving. We all are improving. You are wearing kanthimala also. You go out and with kanthimala. So people must be surprised. What is this? What is this? You know, kavach. No problem. Right? Okay.
Krishna Prabhu, I think this class just summed up the entire the goal of life, process, and even practical tips just for 1 hour. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Prabhu completed his class. It was a little baby who was clapping. Started clapping, and I think the mother was saying, "Don't do that" or something like that.
She was happy the class is over.
So I was just very serious, thank you, and we should clap, and all of us did that, that's really wonderful. So I'm meeting Prabhu for the first time. I've been hearing about him from Bhakti Prabhu. So Prabhu's been traveling all over the world. He's the president of Punjabi Bhakti.
Was.
Sorry?
He was. I was.
Okay. Now he's on the sannyas list, and we will see where the Maharaj soon, I don't know how soon. And I request them to please keep coming to Bangalore. Bangalore, one thing really great about our congregation. You know what I love Bangalore.
Yes, sure.
One thing great about that is they all love Shravan.
Yeah, we were.
So if you come, they're going to respond to a lot of enthusiasm and they're going to be there to hear you. So we request you to keep coming. And though we meet you the first time, we have another bond I just want to share, which even I did not tell Bhakti Prabhu. So you're from Punjabi Bagh, and His Holiness Bhakti Madhurya Maharaj was extremely dear to a lot of us.
Oh, he was.
In fact, you don't have to come to the class. In fact, you don't come. But when I heard that you know Punjabi, I said I have to come and meet Prabhuji. And on this occasion, I could also say His Holiness Bhakti Madhurya Maharaj ki Jai. So thank you, Prabhu. Hoping to see you again.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks to all of you for your patient hearing. I really enjoyed my 2 days stay in Bangalore. And Prabhu rightly said, wherever I went in Bangalore, all the temples, people were so eager to hear, people were so eager to hear. Yesterday it was raining also, still devotees came. So thank you so much for your enthusiasm. And please keep on enthusing all of us. Let's enthuse each other with our association. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Let's actually thank His Grace Rukmini Krishna Prabhu Once loudly chant.